Czy masz odwagę powiedzieć żonom, i stałem tam, gdzie stało domo?
Welcome guys, and today we'll touch how to plan your travel to Japan step by step. And as you know, every trip, every travel, any time when you want to go somewhere, you need to make some plan. Because when you have a plan, everything goes much easier. So the best idea is to open Microsoft Word, make a new document, and make a plan, step by step in points. First, what you need to know is what you need to think, what you want to see in that place. For example, if you are going to a Tokyo, you need to plan what you want to see. Like, for me, there are three more important points. Shibuya with Shibuya crossing, Akihabara with the biggest camera shop, Yodobashi camera, and other electronic shops in Akihabara. And the third one was Shinjuku. So I've got a plan which I wanted to realize in 1 week. From exactly in 80 days from departure from Berlin until return back. And this I planned in a days. That the most important points will take 3 days, but I want to have a little more time and what I want to see. Then you need to put in the points. First, you need to plan your travel. So you need to look for tickets for the plane, and that's the most expensive point and the most important point, because you need to plan with which airline and when you want to travel. Then you need to know something about the weather, that the weather the best in Japan is in spring, between in April, May and June. In the summer it's really, really hot, and in fall you can expect heavy rain. So it is a good idea to find a time around the spring break, around Easter time. And what you should expect about the temperature is between 90 and 100 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's about 25 to 30 degrees Celsius. And you need to look for a flight in a good price. And that's a big problem, because you need to spend a lot of time, because usually flights from Europe to Japan are very, very expensive. If you want to travel to Korea, as I told you 2 years ago, you can catch a flight for about 1,000 to 1,100. So between 1,000 and 1,100 euros, you can get a flight from Europe to Seoul in Korea. With Japan, it's a bigger problem. It's not only 1 hour longer flight than Korea, because you need to fly over Japanese Sea, which is called in Japan, and East Sea, which is called in Korea. The problem is that the flight's price grows. Wow. And how much it is? Usually the price for a ticket, two-way ticket to Japan, costs about 1,400 euros. This is an unusual price in a normal airlines like Lufthansa, like Air France, like Finnair. So it is expensive. If you will find any flight in a price below 1,000 euros, it is a good price. It's a very good price. I was looking for almost half a year for a good flight, and I found a flight from Lufthansa for 850 euros. 850 euros, and it was a really great price. From Berlin to Frankfurt, and from Frankfurt to Haneda Airport in Tokyo, and return flight from Haneda Airport in Tokyo to München, and from München to Berlin. And here this is one domestic flight from Berlin to Frankfurt. In Frankfurt you have Schengen to non-Schengen transfer, so we go from a gate A to a date Z. You go to automatic border control if you are a EU citizen, and then you have a international long-haul fly to Haneda Airport, Terminal 3 in Tokyo. And here we have, on the first flight, we got Airbus A321. Yeah, 321. And then we got an all-good drama, Boeing 747-8, which was first models were designed and produced in 1970s. It was produced until 1990s. So for about 20 years, this was an old school aircraft with 4 engines, and on the return flight we've got first Airbus A350-900, and then we've got Airbus A321 on the domestic flight from München to Berlin. As I told you, the price was really, really good. Then you need to look on the same time, for the same period of the time, for the hotel. And with the hotels there, it's more complicated, because you need to choose a hotel which is in a reasonable price, in a good price, but it's not far away from a subway station. In Tokyo, you've got many subway lines, and when you find on a booking.com there is some hotel, and you feel that this hotel is alright, you need to check how long distance you need to walk to a subway station, because you will use it every day. This subway stations, it is important to have a reasonable distance you can walk to that station. Then here is all about the distance and the price. Then what you will need also, you need airline ticket, you need booking in the hotel. Then remember that you need a valid passport. You will need a valid debit card, or better two. To withdraw money in Japan, you will need a plastic card. If you have a virtual card, it is good for paying by phone. But if you will need to withdraw cash, you need a plastic card. So you need virtual card and a plastic card. And remember that in Japan, most ATMs are domestic ATMs. So you need to look for an international ATM, which will accept international cards like Visa or MasterCard, which will give you an ability to withdraw money. Why you need to withdraw some cash? Because you will need to buy a Cosmo card. Cosmo or Suica card. This is a card for a public transport, which works the same as a T-Money card in Korea. And the thing is that in an international ATM, you can withdraw at least the minimum amount, 10,000 yen, which is about 70 euros. And when you withdraw 10,000 yen, you will have to pay 660 yen fee for the international access to the money, which is about 4 or 5 euros. Yeah. You need to cover that fee. So remember that if you want to withdraw more, you need to do this in the one transaction, because you will pay the fee only once. From my point of view, for a 1 week, 10,000 yen is more than enough for a Suica card. Because when you buy a Suica card, you will pay 500 yen, which is €2.5 deposit for the card, and the rest of my money will be on the card. And you pay this when you go on the subway. On the entrance, you press 1, like in London, you press 1, and when on the exit, you press second 1, and they charge you the amount of how far away you are traveling. And the most important thing is SIM card. You need to buy a SIM card. You can buy it on the airport, but it's still a better idea to go on the website. I use the japanexperience.com, and on japanexperience.com you can order the SIM card, and there will be in a special envelope signed with your name on the airport. So you know that you have your SIM card on the airport, and you don't want to only just do a special counter, and you just pick up that SIM card. SIM card will be important for two things. First is Google Maps. You need Google Maps to be able to use public transport, so you need to know to which exit you need to go and to which line you should take on the public transport, on the subway. The second thing, you will need to Google Translate, because many people here can speak English, or they can speak very little English. They are not proficient in English, so it's a good idea to have a possibility to use Google Translate. Google Translate will save your ass. Yeah, it will save your ass, definitely. This is important thing, guys. So you will spend about I've spent 4,000 yen for the passport card, suitor card, which so I paid 500 for yen for deposit, and 3,500 was on the card, and I've spent other 6,000 on some gifts for my parents. So I had withdrawn 10,000, which was the minimum amount. I've spent 4,000 on the public transport and 6,000 on the gifts for my parents. Good idea. And I've spent almost 40 euros on the SIM card, which is important. And remember that when you put a SIM card to your phone, it will not be active immediately. It needs a few minutes to activate. You need to take out the SIM card from envelope. You need to put it in your phone, turn on the phone then you need to go to the settings. You need to choose settings, then you need to set up that all network charges, that network auto selection on. You need to select bands that you want to use 5G and 4G. You need to go to APN, access point network settings, and then in that envelope with a SIM card there will be manual. In that manual there will be written what you need to put in the APN settings to make internet work. So without that you will have coverage but no internet access. So you need to put information. You need to create new APN instead of that one which was created, which is installed on your SIM card. To create new APN, you need to put everything which was in that manual in that APN. You should save it. Then the best idea is to restart your phone, reboot again, restart your phone, and after restart, you should have a coverage from NTT.com, and you should be able to access internet. If not, wait 10-15 minutes and do a restart again, and everything will work. I was a little shocked that I've put a SIM card and it didn't work straight, and I was aware that maybe my phone doesn't support the special frequency which is used in Japan, because they use a little different frequency than Europe and US, so it's different. But after the nice restart, everything starts working, so it's okay. I've used the Samsung S23, which was great, and I've also used the Realme 12 Pro 5G phone, and it also works. So as you see, you don't need to buy the most expensive Samsung or iPhone to use internet on your chip. You can use a little cheaper phone from a middle edge, like a Realme Pro, and everything will work great. This is the most important part of this. In most places in Japan, in most shops, in most stores, you will be able to pay using your card. You can use virtual card, like Google Wallet, or you can use a card, plastic card. In some place, like taxis, like cabs, like some other few restaurants, you need to use a plastic card. So it's a good idea to have that plastic card instead of virtual card. You should have just two cards. You just need two cards, virtual and plastic. Yeah, this is the important thing. And it's a good idea to also have two phones, one with your ordinary SIM card from your home network, and the second for a travel with this travel SIM card. So this is the most important thing just to make a plan and go step by step, and to know what you want to see, where, how I want to go there, what I want, where I want to sleep. This is important part of that whole story. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'm gonna catch you later.
Ty co kobiety chciałbyś zniewolić, pozbawić chciałbyś niewolnej woli. Rządzie biskupie, do was to mówię, wstydzi się was dziś kraj. Nie płaczcie siostry, ducha nie traćcie,